Patriots are got a double dose of good news on Wednesday. Welcome to Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Brett Alper. Drake Maye turning the heads of some coaches, specifically his offensive coordinator at OTAs this week. And Gelani Tavi, he went down on Tuesday at OTAs, but unfortunately, the injury is not serious, and we'll break that all down here. But let's get started. Just talking about the quarterback, the second-year guy, Mr. Maye, and he's impressing the coaching staff heading into his second year, and they're thinking that it could be a breakout year for the UNC quarterback. Josh McDaniels said this: we either make a good play or we learn from the result. Talking about how Drake Maye was not really that great in OTAs the first couple weeks, and sometimes as a coach, and nobody wants to hear this, but sometimes the negative results can actually be your best teachers because you didn't have a play where something didn't necessarily go your way or the right way, and then you learn from it. Now, Maye, I'll just be honest here. He looked awful in the first OTAs that were open to the public. Now, we didn't see all of the practices because they were closed to the media, but 4 interceptions in 8 throws. Like, that's just horrid. He needed to just get the jitters out. I understand it. It's your first practice with all your new guys. You're just getting there. You're working out with them, but now with the coaches with you, it's kind of a lot of pressure on you. 11 for 17. He did bounce back, but those 4 interceptions were horrid. And I was listening to what the beat reporters were saying, and they were talking about just how he just overthrowing guys, not that accurate, but other than that, it takes a long time to learn a new system. All his rookie year, he was with Alex Van Pelt learning that type of offense, and now you bring in Josh McDaniels, completely different set of schemes and set of plays that the two run, and it's just going to take some time. And you're also learning with your new guys. You're bringing in Stefon Diggs, who looks great, by the way. You're bringing in Kyle Williams. You're bringing in Efton Chisholm, just all these new players that you're trying to get chemistry with, and it's going to take some time to build that over a course of the offseason. And it was only May, no pun intended for Drake Maye, but since then, over the week's practices that we've seen from the 3 open OTAs that the media was allowed to, he's improved. You go from throwing 4 interceptions, you come back the next week. Yeah, he didn't complete as many passes, still a little shaky, 9 for 17, but the one big thing was no turnovers. That's what you care about the most. Not throwing the ball to the defense, especially when it's not in pads, so it is a passing camp. You're not getting pressured, and you're still throwing those interceptions that first week, but you bounce back and don't commit any turnovers. He did have a drop snap, but it was also impressive to Josh McDaniels. He said this: I think he's doing a really good job of digesting the information. He's doing well with processing the corrections when there's a correction to be made, and then going out there with a great attitude and mindset the next day. Pretty much acting like nothing ever happened. He didn't even throw that pick. He's going to place high expectations on himself for sure. We certainly want to try to get the best result out of our quarterback position on every play. I see a guy that has a great attitude and mindset of coming out here and being the best version of himself. And that's exactly what he did his 3rd week at OTAs. People called it basically perfect. Placing balls right in the breadbasket over the shoulder, 14 for 16 in week 3 OTAs. That is impressive. And to go from what we saw the first week with him throwing 4 interceptions and then bounce back, no interceptions, and then 3rd week just absolute perfection, 14 for 16, is just impressive to say the least, especially going into your sophomore season. I think that Drake Maye has the ability to break out in year 2. He's improved in OTAs. We've seen him get a little bit slimmer from what I've seen, get a little bit stronger. You're learning a lot more being in the NFL for a year. And also, you improved the offensive line. You went out and drafted Will Campbell. Shout out to him for actually signing his contract finally. 4 years guaranteed. All of it. $42 million. Shout out to him. Let me see some 66 down in the comments below. And also just signing Morgan Moses, getting Stefon Diggs, and Kyle Williams. It is easily a season for Drake Maye to break out and show that he's going to be one of the top quarterbacks in this league for years to come. And also, let's talk about how much this channel has improved. We got a sub battle going on for June with the Bills Breakdown, the AFC East rival, and we are smacking them 32 subs compared to 3. It's still early June, people. We're still in the first week, and I know we're beating them now, but I want those numbers to skyrocket. I want to put them in the ground. I want to step on them and throw them in the dirt. Let's make it 100. Let's beat them by 100. So go hit that big red sub button and subscribe to Patriots Today. Here's quick 4 reasons why I think Drake Maye improves. Talked about the offensive line, improved wide receiver. You also have age. He's getting older. You get smarter as more years are in the NFL. And specifically, I think the Josh McDaniels offense is going to be a lot better. And I mean a lot better than Alex Van-Pelt. You have Ramondre Stevenson comes in. We're going to do a video on that, how he's looked pretty good at OTA since being back. May his father rest in peace. He was missing a couple weeks due to that. But if you can set up some RPOs, some play actions, which we didn't see last year with Drake Maye in this offense, it's going to look totally different. And I think this offense is going to be probably one of the top 15, at least, in the NFL. So I'm excited for it. Are you guys excited for it? You excited for year 2 of Maye? It's June, but we're still going to be talking about Maye all off season long. So hit that thumbs up icon if you're excited for Drake Maye. Before we go and talk about Gelani Tavi, got to tell you about the deal that's going on. I always find the good deals for you. $15.99 for a beautiful Pat shirt. I actually think this is fire, and I got one for myself. Chatsports.com/PatsT. We'll have that in the comments and description of this video. It's a nice shirt. It's summer. You're going to be wearing short sleeves. I know I'm wearing a hoodie, but I love wearing hoodies. Plus, it's freezing in the Chat Sports studio. Chatsports.com/PatsT. Okay, this was probably one of the scariest moments that we saw during OTAs, and it was Gelani Tavi. He suffered what we first knew was a leg injury, and when I first read this tweet from Mike Reese, I thought it was serious, and we were going to be losing him for the entire year. He said he was remaining down after an extended period of time during 11-on-11 drills. Teammates kneeled around him like they were taking this pretty seriously. Everything stopped. The music turned off. It was somber, and people were concerned. He was eventually helped off the field by Jabril Peppers, and he couldn't put pressure on his leg. After Jabril Peppers brought him to the sidelines, his teammates, which is great to see, kind of just everybody getting together, the chemistry, his offensive line brought him back to the locker room. But then yesterday, Adam Schefter tweeted a bunch of just, thank God. He said it was only a calf injury during OTAs Monday. It's now expected to sideline him until training camp. So he's probably not going to miss any games, might not even miss preseason. The news is fortunate that Tavai could hardly put any pressure on his leg, and he was helped off the practice field by Jabril Peppers. It's a miracle that you only lose him to training camp. You have your mandatory mini camps, but training camp is when everything gets extremely serious. You're going to have joint practices with teams, and you're going to gear up. That's when you fully gear up for the regular season. If he's still able to go through all that process, all those practices, and be ready for the regular season, that's huge because he was the leader of this defense. Last season, he had that green dot on the back of his helmet. He was the signal caller. And let's not beat around the bush here. The Patriots defense was horrible. And Gelani Tavi was kind of your diamond in the rough, and he was everywhere. He was all over the field making tackles nonstop. He was that diamond in the rough on defense. You had Christian Gonzalez, who played great, but when you look at the linebackers, especially in the defensive line, he played incredible. 115 tackles leading the team. 7 tackles for losses. Not a lot of sacks, obviously, playing inside linebacker, but the pass breakups, 5. He could play. He can go in coverage. He can go find the man that's on the run. Just a great overall linebacker for the Patriots, and it's very, very fortunate that we did not lose him. But now that he's going to be out for probably the rest of the summer until the end of July, it's time for the others to step up. And you signed Robert Spillane, who is now going to be the signal caller. But Christian Ellis is expected, and I put him on the linebacker depth chart ahead of Gelani Tavi because he's going to be out. But Christian Ellis is probably going to get most of the reps, and you signed Jack Gibbons to free agency. So all these guys are going to get more reps, and it's going to help this team just improve overall. You're going to have guys that are going to be on the bench, but now that Tavi is out, they're coming in and getting ready and are able to step in just in case we have an injury like this to, let's say, Robert Spillane, or if Christian Ellis gets hurt, some guy, the next man up mentality. You always got to be ready. And that's kind of just maybe a positive note that you could talk about, but overall, it's good. It's good that he's not out for a long period of time. Thank goodness. So, show some love to Gelani Tavai. Spam those 48s in the chat because he's going to be with us for 2025. He's going to be with us week 1, and that is something to talk about. It's also calf injuries. You got to take it serious because you never know if that Achilles could just pop at any second. So, get well soon, Gelani. Come back whenever you're ready. That's going to do it for today's show of Patriots Today. Don't forget to follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, @TheRealAlper. Hit that big red sub button, and let's go Pats.